What if I told you that everything you think you know about wealth is wrong? What if I told you that a high salary doesn't automatically make you wealthy? Intrigued? Good. Let me ask you a question, and I want you to be really honest with yourself. When you hear the word wealth, what's the first image that pops into your head? Is it a mansion, a fancy sports car, maybe a private jet? Let me know down in the comments what you think. For a long time I thought the same thing. I chased the high-paying job, the promotions, the bigger paycheck, thinking that was the path to wealth. But I always felt like I was on a hamster wheel, running faster and faster but never actually getting anywhere. I was making good money, but I wasn't building wealth. And that's when I had my big realization. Income is not the same as wealth. So, what is wealth? The simplest, most powerful definition I've ever heard is this. Wealth is what you own that earns money for you while you sleep. It's not about how much you make. It's about how much you keep and, more importantly, how hard that money works for you. Wealth is freedom. It's having enough assets, things like stocks, real estate, or businesses that generate enough income to cover your living expenses without you having to actively work for it. Imagine waking up tomorrow knowing that all your bills are paid, not from your 9-to-5 job, but from the assets you own. That, my friends, is true financial freedom. That is wealth. Let me tell you a story about two friends, Alex and Ben. Both graduated from the same university with the same degree and got jobs at the same company, earning the exact same salary, $100,000 a year. On the surface, they looked equally successful. Alex loved the lifestyle that came with his new salary. He immediately bought a brand new luxury car with a hefty monthly payment. He rented a stylish, expensive apartment in the trendiest part of town. He ate out at fancy restaurants almost every night, bought the latest gadgets, and went on lavish vacations. His social media was filled with pictures of his amazing life. To everyone, Alex looked incredibly wealthy. But here's the secret. At the end of every month, after all his expenses, Alex had almost nothing left. He was living paycheck to paycheck, just a shinier, more expensive version of it. Now let's look at Ben. Ben took a different approach. He drove a reliable, used car that he paid for in cash. He lived in a more modest, affordable apartment, a little further from the city center. He learned to cook and enjoyed making his own meals, saving restaurant trips for special occasions. It wasn't as glamorous as Alex's life, for sure, but here's the crucial difference. Every single month, Ben was saving and investing a significant chunk of his income. He started small, putting money into a low-cost index fund. He educated himself about real estate and, after a couple of years of disciplined saving, he bought a small rental property. The rent from his tenant not only covered the mortgage but also gave him a little extra cash flow each month. While Alex was spending his money on things that lost value depreciating assets, Ben was buying things that made him money appreciating assets. Fast forward 10 years. Alex is still working the same job. He's had a few raises, but so have his expenses. He now has a bigger car payment, a more expensive mortgage on a house he can barely afford, and he's still trapped in the cycle of working to pay for his lifestyle. He's stressed about his job because if he loses it, his whole world comes crashing down. He has no safety net, no assets working for him. He looks rich, but he isn't wealthy, and Ben still works, but now it's by choice, not necessity. Over the decade, his investments have grown significantly thanks to the power of compound interest. He now owns several rental properties, and the passive income from his investments in real estate is more than enough to cover all his living expenses. He has options. He could quit his job tomorrow and travel the world. He could start his own business without worrying about paying the bills. Ben doesn't have the flashiest car or the biggest house, but he has something far more valuable: freedom. Ben is truly wealthy. This story perfectly illustrates the core difference. Wealth isn't about what you spend, it's about what you build. It's a mindset shift from thinking about how to earn more to thinking about how to own more. Different experts have different ways of saying this, but the core message is always the same. Robert Kiyosaki, the author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, frames it brilliantly. He says the rich don't work for money, they make money work for them. They focus on acquiring assets, not liabilities. An asset puts money in your pocket. A liability takes money out of your pocket. For Alex, his fancy car and expensive apartment were liabilities. For Ben, his index funds and rental properties were assets. It's a simple but profound distinction that changes everything. Warren Buffett, one of the most successful investors of all time, has a famous saying, "If you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you will work until you die." This isn't meant to be harsh, it's a call to action. It emphasizes the importance of passive income, the income you get from your assets. Your job is active income, you have to trade your time for it. Wealth is built on the foundation of passive income. Then you have someone like Morgan Housel, author of The Psychology of Money, who brings a more behavioral perspective. He argues that wealth is what you don't see. It's the cars not bought, the diamonds not worn, the upgrades foregone. It's the money that's been saved and invested, quietly compounding in the background. He says, gaining money and keeping money are two different skills. Anyone can get lucky and make a lot of money, like a lottery winner. But building and keeping wealth requires discipline, patience, and a long-term perspective. It's less about timing the market and more about time in the market. So, let's tie this all together. Building wealth is not a get-rich-quick scheme. It's a marathon, not a sprint. It starts with a fundamental shift in your mindset. Stop asking, how much can I earn? And start asking, how much can I own? Here are the practical steps. First, define your freedom number. How much money do you need per year to live comfortably without working? That's your target. Second, spend less than you earn. This sounds simple, but it's the hardest step for most people. Track your spending, create a budget, and find areas to cut back. Remember, Ben, he didn't deprive himself. He just made conscious choices. Third, and this is the magic key, use the gap between your income and your expenses to buy assets. Every dollar you save is a soldier you can send out to work for you. Start with what you understand. It could be stocks like an S&P 500 index fund. It could be real estate. It could even be starting a small side business that can eventually run without you. The most important thing is to start. It doesn't matter if you only have $50 a month to invest. The habit and the power of compounding are what matter most. Don't be intimidated by the jargon. The basic principles are simple. Live below your means and invest the difference consistently over a long period of time. Wealth isn't about being greedy or materialistic. It's about creating a life of choice, security, and opportunity for yourself and your loved ones. It's about having the freedom to pursue your passions, to spend time with people you care about, and to contribute to causes you believe in. It's about owning your time, which is your most valuable and non-renewable resource. So, let's go back to that question from the beginning. What does wealth mean to you now? Hopefully the image in your head has shifted from a fast car to something more meaningful: freedom, security, and peace of mind. That's the real prize. Thanks for watching today. If this video helped shift your perspective on wealth, do me a favor and hit that like button. It really helps the channel out. And for more content on personal finance and building real wealth, make sure you subscribe. See you in the next video.